You know that moment when you sign up for your first triathlon race. And suddenly your social media thinks you're an elite athlete with €1,000,000 gear budget. Wetsuits, swim skins, smart GPS goggles. It's overwhelming, and honestly, most of it you don't even need. Back when I started triathlon, there wasn't this endless scroll of must-have gear. Or maybe there was, but I hadn't discovered it yet, which might have been a blessing. I wasn't getting ads for new wetsuits or temperature-controlling race suits. I just showed up, looked around, and learned. There were the ones who looked like pros, matching suits, aero helmets, you name it. I was convinced they'd win it all. And then there's people like me, someone who's just trying something new. That's how I figured it out, through experience, not algorithms. What mattered, what didn't, and which gear decision I'd get completely wrong before getting it right. When I signed up for my first triathlon, I had no idea what gear I'd need. But here's the truth, you can do your first triathlon with surprisingly little gear. So let's talk about what you actually need for race day, the swim edition. If your first race is maybe a sprint triathlon, maybe even in a pool, you can keep it simple. I've seen people race in regular swimsuits, and honestly, that's totally fine. But if there's one upgrade I'd recommend, it's a tri-suit. A triathlon suit is basically your superhero outfit. Quick drying, snug, and just enough comfort on the bike without feeling like a diaper when you go off on your run. And here's the best part, you don't have to spend hundreds. There are amazing budget options, or even better, second-hand ones on sites like Vinted. Most of them have seen 2, maybe 3 races and are still in great condition. So skip the overhyped stuff. Save your money for snacks or a post-race pizza, because honestly, that's the real reward. If your race involves open water, you might need a wetsuit. But not just any wetsuit, a triathlon-specific one. Here's the difference. Thinner, more flexible neoprene around your shoulders and arms so you are free to move. It's designed for buoyancy, not warmth. So showing up in your surf or diving wetsuit might sound clever, until you feel like you're wrestling an octopus in a sauna. And if you're not a confident swimmer yet, a wetsuit can actually make you feel safer. That extra buoyancy helps more than you'd think. Wetsuits can be expensive, but again, second-hand is your friend. You can even test swim them at brand demo days before buying. And here's a personal tip. Check the neckline. If it's too tight or too high for what you personally like, it can literally ruin your swim. With my first wetsuit, I felt I was being strangled the whole swim. I'm not a fan of the really high necklines. My neckline needs to be as low as possible. So find the one that fits you, not everyone else. And trust me, bring anti-shave cream. It's the small things that separate fun race day from ouch for 3 days. There's also the infamous swim skin. Basically a super thin suit you wear over your tri-suit when wetsuits are banned. It's supposed to make you faster by reducing drag. But unless you're racing often or chasing seconds, skip it. Instead, focus on what really matters, goggles. Choose them based on race day light. If it's an early start, go for clear lenses. If it's bright and sunny, tinted or mirrored ones make a huge difference. Most races actually provide a swim cap, but I've also seen people doubling up on the swim cap. So they wear a cap, then the goggles, and then another cap on the top. You do whatever fits you, but no piece of gear can replace confidence. The swim start can be chaotic, people kicking, arms everywhere, it feels like you are in the washing machine. And on top of that, your heart is racing because there is still a little adrenaline going on. So if you can, practice that swim start with friends before you actually race. That comfort, that familiarity is the real secret weapon. Because that moment when you hit your first strokes, despite the chaos, that's when it hits you. You did the hard thing anyways. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the gear you have, it's about how you show up. Prepared, calm, and ready to quit comfort one more time. Next up in the series, we're diving into cycling gear. What's worth the investment, and what's just marketing noise. So, hit subscribe if you are ready to build your triathlon setup without going broke. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.